Hey, everybody. It's Joy Packard. How are you guys doing tonight? I just did a live video for my keto group. And so, like I say, I just had this set up already and I had some thoughts I just wanted to share with you guys. I, it's been a couple of long days. We've been at the e-commerce event here in San Antonio, the Inspire 2020. It's been awesome. A lot of good things, learning. And anyway, I've been doing a lot of thinking because, with the Kobe Bryant of his passing and everything, I've just been really thinking about a lot of things over the last few days and really been thinking about like, even missing my own parents who have passed and everything like that. And, every single day we have moments, right? We go through things, we're working, we're just going throughout our days. And a lot of days we're very, very busy and we just kind of float and we kind of go through the motions and we kind of do the things that we do. And, one of the things that my son, he's the baby of 8, last one at home. And one of the things that he's always done when he was little is when we would drop him off at school, he would always turn behind and he would wave. And now here he is, he's almost 17 in a couple of months and he's a junior in high school and he still, will make sure and come and say and hug me. And I teach my kids, it was kind of a joke, but kind of true. But I just say, hug with your heart. When you hug with your heart and really mean it. And, one day he's like, yeah, you just never know. I don't want this to be like if this were the last time that I was ever going to see you, I want to know that I hugged you with my heart, like he always teaches. And so, you know, every single day, every morning, every single one of us has a full day. And we have our choice to do with it what we want, how we interact with people, how we treat people. I always tell my kids, like if there is ever somebody who's maybe like grumpy at school, maybe a teacher's having a bad day, I'm like, usually there's always a reason why people act the way they do. Maybe that person, just lost their mom or whatever. So there's always going to be some reason of why people act the way they do. Anyway, I just been thinking about it a lot over the last few days, as there's just so much, going on in the world and, a lot of last minute sudden things that happen. And it just makes you really stop and think, makes you appreciate who you are, who you're with, your family. It suddenly makes a lot of things less important. Cause it's kind of like when you have pain somewhere, like, I hurt my knee one time, I hurt my neck. And suddenly, like, all the focus just goes on that pain. And then suddenly it's like everything else doesn't even matter. And so it's interesting when things like that happen in our life, is that becomes the focus. Everything stands still, everything stops. And so I don't know. I just think that it's a great reminder for all of us, to live our life the best way we can. And every single morning, to ask yourself and to maybe ask, if you believe in God and Heavenly Father, you ask for somebody that you can touch and, their life, or a way that you can help them, or, a way to be able to interact with somebody that you may have value that you can give them, and they can exchange and do the same for you. And so, as we live our life this way, with more meaningful intentions and things, it's so interesting to me of how that can be. And, I think that if we're more aware of it, on a daily basis, then we'll live our life that way more, right? I have really been super behind on my podcast. And for those who don't know, I have a podcast called Joy Reveals, and I'll put the link in it when I'm done. And I've done about 21 episodes. And now that I've moved into this house and, and everything, I promise you, I will start doing, getting back to my podcast, and I will probably try and do shorter, episodes, so that it can be. I'm not going to promise daily. I don't know. Hey, Jacob, how you doing? I'm not sure, like, how often I'll do it, but there's a guy that I listen to, Sam Crowley. His podcast is called Every Day is Saturday, and he does one every single day, if not every other day. And I listen to him, and I'm like, he does like 5 to 8 minute episodes, and he does it sometimes in his car. And so it can be done. I've just had such a busy year, but there's no more excuses. I mean, I should be recording this as my podcast as well, But anyway, if you haven't downloaded that, it's called Joy Reveals, and you can start listening to it. And if you feel like you can give it a review after you listen to it, it helps the show rank higher. And I promise you that I'm finally going to get back on that bandwagon. And I've had many of you ask, and to share my thoughts. There's so many experiences that all of us experience every day, and when I think about it, I like to share it. And so I think podcasting, it's crazy because like when I look at like who listens to the podcast, there's people that listen to it in Germany and like on the other side of the world. I don't even know how they find it, but I truly have so much joy in helping other people, whether it's through e-commerce or self-development. Many of you know I have my first retreat coming up, Retreats with Joy. I'm not sure if you get that, but retreats with myself, retreats with joy. That means with happiness, coming up July 28th through August the 1st. And, I love helping people that way. I love helping people with e-commerce. I love helping people with a podcast. And so I encourage you, it's on iTunes, on the if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, it's on the Stitcher app, and we'll be adding more to that as well. So love sharing ideas with you. I hope that these thoughts help you to think more about your everyday life and how you can be living, and lives that you can be changing, and just interacting with your loved ones on a daily basis. It's kind of like, I think that it just helps me, like I say, be more aware. It helps me be more aware of my loved ones. It helps me to stop doing what I'm doing. Like, even though this might seem more important, and you might have a grandbaby that says, hey, Lola, I want you to color with me, or I want you to, do this or do that. Then suddenly you shift it and you make it go that way. And so I think I've been striving to be a lot better with that, and as far as like, this may seem like super important at the time, but you never know when that moment that you could have gone on a walk with one of your kids, or had that talk with one of your kids, or gone with your spouse on a short date, and just those little moments, and I think my status this morning was, you can find bouts of happiness every single day. Thank you, Shireen. So nice to say. And in church, I think I shared with you, like we talked about that, where yes, we all have miserable days, and we all have days where we're just like, did I even get anything done? But if we backtrack our day, and we just kind of envision it, surely there's at least one, up to three, hopefully, things that you can be so thankful for and so grateful for, and that made you happy. Whether it's that I got to lay down and snuggle in my little soft blanket for 5 minutes today, even though I wanted to take a long nap, or I was sleeping in the rain today, or I was able to buy my granddaughter an ice cream from the ice cream truck. The ice cream truck never comes to this neighborhood, so there's like all these little happiness things. It could be my favorite pen came in the mail, or when you start doing this and you start like training your mind to look for these things, it's interesting because when you have a heart of gratitude and you start thinking about these kind of things, then it really helps you to live your life like looking for them, and suddenly it's like they start just coming to you. You start having these awesome experiences on a day-to-day basis. Why? Because you are training yourself to look for them. So, all right, I'm exhausted. I've been at training at the Inspire e-commerce train. It's not e-commerce, it's business, and it does have some e-commerce, but it's an event here in San Antonio. I'm speaking at it. I'll be speaking on Thursday on outsourcing your business, and it's awesome. Talk about your goals and your dreams and things like that. So, all right, I appreciate you guys taking your time on a what is it? Tuesday evening at 9:18 p.m. Central Time. Hi, Sinead. How are you? And thank you guys for joining. I know that, you could be spending your time elsewhere, and you have spent it with me tonight. So for that, I thank you. I hope this has helped you in some way. I'm trying out my new microphone. This is the newest model of the audio Audio Technica. So I don't have my normal stand up, but I just put this up and look, I'm just improvising. It's on my books. So anyway, I hope this sounds good. I hope that you're learning a lot. I am excited to start podcasting again. I will put my podcast links in the comments. And so you guys take care. I'll talk to you very soon.